GM, give me just a second, guys. Let me finish getting everything set up and we'll get going here. Need to tweet this out and get all y'all up on stage as well. 80s, how are you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Packing up the house, getting ready to haul ass. I'm going to Fort Worth for the weekend and see my stepdad. So looking forward to that, man. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. It's been a solid evening slash afternoon slash morning so far. Market's slowly grinding higher, which I love to see.
Love to hear it, man. Dude, I was just in a space with Pons and Wob, and it made me think about something that Wob said earlier about him like going after the Eastern market, if you will, like the Chinese market and that whole Asian culture. And I was thinking about something. It's like a real big passion of trading over there. And if we also tapped into that, I think that could onboard so many new people into Wonky Stonks too. And it's just a thought that I had. So something to consider.
Well, what's the game plan, man? What's the alpha that they dropped?
You got to get in there, man. You just got to get on the WeChats. You got to, just like you do in this space, we just get loud and organize and start making connections and try to get our foot in the door and see what we could do as a community together.
Well, dude, let's do it. I mean, I'm down to figure it out. Again, man, I think it's one of those things. There are a lot of untapped markets. Like I know Frank always talks about his obsession with his two markets that he really wants to dive into are, oh man, like LinkedIn and Twitter. Like those are the two things that he's the most bullish on. Personally, I mean, I don't know about the LinkedIn side of it as far as I mean, I guess like maybe there could be something there, but I just feel like LinkedIn is a little bit more hesitant to this type of adoption when I think about the demographic. But that doesn't mean that there's not potential in that.
You see a bunch of DJs on the LinkedIn timeline. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, bro, I can just imagine everybody that all my LinkedIn connections and like bro, zero of them. And I get it. You can cultivate different audiences wherever you are, right? So like a big part of it is obviously the audience that I already have there versus what I could potentially cultivate. But I still think about it. I'm like, is it like is that one that I mean I respect the like him trying to pioneer it though, one way or the other.
Well, I mean, if you look at it from an application point of view, like if we're going after the PFP market, I don't really know that that's the right medium to go for. But if we're talking about other protocols that could have like real world applications for people in a professional atmosphere, sure, LinkedIn would be a great way. But I don't even think we're there yet with technology.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think there's an opportunity for it to find ground eventually there. Like I'm not discounting it completely, right? But when I think about just the target audience of like what I see as the potential reward versus the work put in, I just wouldn't see it as a number one option to go to personally. But I think that it all, depends on what the vision of your project is, kind of how it resonates. But again, I just am thinking through it like, when you're curating an art audience that is out there seeking some historical project within the space, like you just don't hear much about the active LinkedIn NFT culture that is just out there thriving and adopting things. So, I'm all for somebody else paving the road and then following in their footsteps whenever they've done it.
Facts, man. That's the way to do it. Yeah, man, I just don't see it. I think Twitter, that's where we're thriving right now. And that's where we'll continue to build bridges. Because it's an entire ecosystem of, so many different channels that we can tap into too. So, and we're just now scratching the surface with our small ecosystem. So.
No, I agree, man. Hey, 80s, this is completely random, but back to your thing that you brought up earlier. Dude, have you ever been to Billy Bob's in Fort Worth?
Oh fuck yeah, man! I'm going to Billy Bob's Saturday night.
I was going to say, you got to go if you
Oh
haven't.
hell yeah, that's the jam, man. I love all the stockyards. It's my little spot. My stepdad lives in Saginaw, and whenever the wife and I go there, we stay in downtown Fort Worth and hit up the local spots. It's always a good
You
time,
got to go
good
to Joe
vibes.
T's and, Joe T's to,
Yeah, man. It's
yep,
gonna be a good time, brother. We'll be there
hit up
for
the
two
stockyards.
nights. Yeah, stockyards are the jam. It's always a good time. It's a little different because we're beach vibes over here in Florida, and we get to Texas, and I put my cowboy boots on, and I live the life, man. I love it.
I can only imagine, man. Nelsonius, welcome up, man. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's been a while. How you doing, Cleo?
I'm doing well, man. I'm just sitting here snacking on a kolache for lunch.
Oh, you hit
Um,
me with a kolache, bastard.
oh yeah, do you remember how we had like back last year? There was this period of time where I don't know if it was Cube or who. I feel like half the people on stage just basically didn't believe the kolaches existed. Or there was some type of drama surrounding the kolache narrative. I forget what it was. Maybe Rooster didn't know what it was, and he was like, "Okay, he's
No,
like, I'll look for this."
yeah, I think it was Cube who didn't know what it was, and Rooster, he's a big proponent for the kolaches. I think it was the last time I was actually in Texas. I took a picture of a case full of kolaches, and I think that's how we started the conversation because people are like, "What the hell are those things?" They're fire, by the way.
Something like that. Here in a second when I'm done eating, I'll quit being lazy and I'll tweet out this space. But you know, 80s. You know the difference between right now versus back in the summer too. Like when we would do these kind of before I'd tweet it out and it'd just be like a couple of us chilling in here. I think the total room size would be like 15 people before I'd tweet it out. And right now, I mean, we haven't even sent out a tweet yet, so they're like 45 people, which is triple, the average attendance of what it used to be when we would do it with just kind of starting it up when I was lazy before I'd get things going. By the way, if anybody else wants to speak, feel free to hit that request button. I'll bring you guys up here. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, man, it's definitely beautiful to see. I mean, the price action definitely reflects the spaces as well too. So it's amazing to see the community grow. It's amazing to see people finally latching onto these vibes that we've been emitting out into the world since October 2021. So it's beautiful, man.
No, dude, I'm telling you though, like, okay, so after I tweet this out, it'll probably range somewhere between 100 to 150 people in here, right? Like, who knows? Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, somewhere in there. I'm telling you, man, there will be a day here in the next year that, like, at some point, like through now, through 2024, we'll be doing these weekly, and there will be 1,000 plus people in the room. Like it's just going to happen. It is the natural progression of how this stuff works, and I understand, like if you're sitting there in the background, you're like, oh, like it's tough to kind of see the big picture. You haven't seen how these cycles work, but it's one of those things. If you really can take a step back and see, okay, not just like, oh man, can I have 1,000 people in this room in the next week? But just understand that it's about more than just the next week, the next couple days, even the next couple months. And you're starting to take a look years down the road. I think it really helps the perspective of, just your overall approach to the space in general.
Well, it becomes part of your life at that point, right? You build this relationship with this space and with everyone that you interact with. You build a relationship with the voices that you hear that you resonate with. And we say it, 1,000 times over, but consistency, just show up, once a week, like we've been doing. We've been going hard in the beginning of the year, doing multiple spaces, but it's that consistency that'll play off for years to come, and people will vibe with that, man. People will build that relationship that resonates with one another. So that's what it's all about, brother.
Sorry, I had
Yep.
myself muted as I was sending out a tweet. But dude, what's crazy too? Like when I met up with you in Tampa, that was 1 year and 1 week ago.
Yeah, wild, man. Wild. Time flies,
53
man.
weeks ago. And that's kind of like when we're talking about the birthplace of these weekly spaces, a lot of it stemmed from kind of that conversation that we had there. We were just talking about different initiatives, different things, as far as engaging the community, kicking things off. And, one of them was, okay, like here's a checklist of something that we can do that's really easy, that we can start pretty much immediately. Took a couple of weeks, and yeah, then we got kicked off because looking at it, hey, we're in 3 weeks, it's going to be the 1 year anniversary of doing these every single week for the past year.
Yeah, man. And as we do it every single week too, it's like it goes back to what I just said. It becomes a part of your life. Like I know during the week, every Friday, I'm hanging out with my family. Like my schedule, screw all that. Like I this is my Friday. And it becomes a part of everything that we do, and we set the foundation, I think, a year ago. And when we had those conversations, we were really striving to build organically, no hype, no nothing. And how do we approach that organically? Well, you be consistent and you empower people, you give people opportunities, and you give people a place that they can feel comfortable in. So I'm proud to be a part of it, man, and I'm happy to see the community even growing now, stronger, thriving, and people stepping up and taking the leadership positions, and having this ecosystem be about everyone together.
Oh, yes, sir. I agree, man. It's been a lot of fun. Um, so yeah, like it's cool to look back and reflect on, okay, 52, 53 weeks ago, where we were with that conversation. And realistically, when you think about what's changed since then, in the past 52 weeks, not much else has, or I guess past 49 weeks, whatever you want to say, realistically, not much else has changed as far as anything about the approach, anything else, right? Like, we've just relied on being consistent, right? The consistency, the community, and the art, like the three things that have, kept the wheels turning. And I'm telling you, man, we talk about this just about every day, but it's the truth. It can't be understated, I think, how strong that is when you do have that multi-year approach, right? When you just like, and look where it's gotten us. I forget that statistic. I need to go back. Hondo shared it with me. I think you guys shared it the other day. Hondo shared me the tweet a little bit ago from nftstatistics.eth. Give me a second. I'm going to tweet it, or I'll pin it. So yeah, there were 3,000 projects that have had at least one sale at 1 ETH or higher in 2021. 3,000. 65% of them haven't had a single sale above zero point 0.1 ETH in the past 3 months. Now, what I would be curious in, I want to go through and see if I can find a website from that. I think they've got it down there. I need to go check and see. I want to up that number to 1 ETH. And I guarantee you, if 65% of the projects haven't had a sale over zero point 0.1 ETH, that number probably drops to like 95% whenever you up the bar to 1 ETH. And, to think about that, then I'd like to go and see, okay, what percentage of those projects were paid mints versus free mints, right? And then, like, you bucket it down to what the free mint narrative is from that's actually thriving in there. And man, I'd be hard pressed. I know that there are a few out there, but like at least in the same era, maybe 5 projects like that are where we are now, from that same type of narrative and that same type of storyline.
Yeah.
I think you just described the making of a blue chip, is what I heard. That's what I just heard. So,
Clay, I was going to say.
Point being, with enough time, like cream rises to the top. Pick God, what's going on?
No, I was going to say, man, if you look back through that tweet for that NFT analytics thing that you were just talking about, I think the person who tweeted that out included a little more information. I think they included something about the 1 ETH projects.
So they included something about the 1 ETH projects.
Yeah, like later on down in the thread, if you can find it. Sorry, man, I'm talking on some old-ass headphones.
No, you're fine, man. I'm looking through. Let's see.
I think someone else was asking them about that, like what about projects that sold for 1 ETH or 3 ETH or something like that, and they tweeted a couple more things. because I remember looking through that and I was thinking it was pretty interesting because I'm pretty sure I was the one who sent that in like one of the chats, and I was like, damn, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to go through right now and find that because I would love to have that stat. Like it'd be nice to be able to tweet that out. But I mean, even the point one e thing, right? Like the point one e thing is pretty cool in and of itself. And if you look at it though, the other thing that I'd like to, that you can look at kind of as a comparison with all of that is just look at where all those projects were, at their peak during that window. Look at where they were, even the projects other than Wonky Stonks that have had sales over that still right now, look at where they are versus what Wonky Stonks has done over the course of the past 15 months. And I almost guarantee you, like the average thing, a lot of projects that were considered blue chips at that point in time, or close to it, like we've slowly started flipping some of those big names that had a bunch of hype, that had a bunch of the celebrities, had a bunch of the influencers, had this and that. And, it's just been something slowly and quietly happening, right? Like it's nothing that's been this big, sexy, whatever. Like it's just been a slow, steady process. And, like that's the nature of, I think, doing a project without necessarily having a clear cut roadmap or clear cut utility. You don't have these sexy announcements that sit there and like provide momentary hype that, inflate the value of your project beyond a point, beyond reasonable expectation. It's a slower grind, but it's a healthier grind. It's something that happens over time. And I'm telling you, you look at the approach of how things have done, where they're going. Like, it's a lot of these projects too rely fully, and I respect the brand of the business side of it, right? Hey, like, want to grow LedgArt into a brand, want to do something with that more than just wonky stonks down the road. But at the same time, like this isn't a be all end all for me, right? It's kind of a pursuit of passion more than anything else. So, some of these other projects, if they're not able to put out whatever, they're not able to keep the wheels turning, right? And I think that's something that, again, separates this from the rest is because of the fact that it is a pursuit of passion and because it is something that, when it's about the art, I think it really does even transcend the creator. Obviously the creator has a role, and I think really has a role whenever you get things going. But at a certain point, looking back at Punks, for instance, nobody gave a shit about Larva Labs, right? Eventually something, a project can transcend whatever, the centralized authority or whatever else behind that is, if it is just about the art. And again, I think that is the reason why the vision persists of it being an art-based project.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think honestly, from the get go, I just think about the whole thing in retrospect now. Like, the free mint was just such an awesome thing because I think you were successful in what you were trying to do and just onboard a ton of people from CT into NFTs and kind of see what it's about. I mean, I don't think there's any question in my mind. You could have, charged zero point 0.1 ETH for the mint, and it still would have minted out because I know I would have still minted one. But like you said, that slow grind. I really started appreciating the art aspect, over the last 8 months or so, probably. And I even think about it from, like a security perspective. I think, you knew what you were doing when you were launching an art project and rather launching like a PFP project where you're going to airdrop some ecosystem token that's going to go to zero and it's going to be an unregistered security and you're going to get yourself in trouble. So, I think you're following the vision and it's going to keep going. And I think we're all here, because of you, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think
Appreciate that.
another thing you touched on too is there wasn't a bunch of noise with this project. Like, there wasn't a bunch of any hype, any announcements every single day, this, that, and the other. There wasn't a crazy, theory about the project. There wasn't a bunch of overhyped promise. And I think throughout the year, having that, I don't think that was so prevalent in people's minds because they were going after the hype. They were going after the dopamine hits. They were going after the rush, the feel. And without realizing it, they started seeing consistency play out in some of the top projects. we were one of those top projects. We are one of those top projects. And now people are settled down more. Now people, I think, that have survived last year, that are here, are looking into projects that have a really strong community, number one, and that have something that's consistent. And we have that consistency. And we're going to be here for years to come. And we're not overhyping anything. We're not creating noise. Yeah, we create noise on some spaces and we have some fun and we vibe out. But that's the extent of it. And that's what I think has really made this such a unique and underestimated project in a lot of people's eyes. And now here we are onboarding a lot more people, and they're starting to see there's a bigger picture than all that roadmap hype and all that other bullshit. So we're here. We're vibing.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and go over to let's go to Rooster, man. Rooster, how are you doing today? We were actually just having a conversation at the very beginning of this space about like that whole. You remember that day? I forget what it was. I think we had like, if not just a day, multiple weeks where we literally just spent like half the space talking about kolaches.
Oh yeah, who could forget that?
Yeah, man. I was having a kolache a minute ago, and it threw me back a little bit. Like, dude, that was like in the spring of last year, nearly a year ago now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of kolache are you having? You never said.
Yeah, it better be
I had
jalapeno and cheese.
I had a brisket, egg and cheese.
Okay, that's fine.
Phenomenal, and then a bacon, egg and cheese. I've got another. It's a sausage, egg and cheese that I just going to keep in the fridge for now. Have later as a snack if I need it. But yeah, that's it, man. You know, a nice, healthy lunch. So, but yeah, you know, that's the meta of the day, kolaches. But now on the real, I do want to talk about something real quick. So if you guys were aware, if you weren't in the space last night, slash, you know, if you're not on the Discord or any of the Twitter chats or anything else, you may not have seen that there was a Wonky Stonk holder that did get hacked last night. Like an OG holder had like 20 stonks get stolen. Super, super sad to see a couple grails in the mix that were just floored on X2Y2 also. But thankfully, you know, the grails that were floored were secured by, you know, another community member who's super active that, you know, hey, he did the right thing. I think he returned them at cost, you know, for whatever he spent to the original owner, which was really cool to see. You know, one was a super guppy that was a beautiful super guppy, man. Like I've seen that one a million times as I've looked through the guppies, and I've been jealous of that one. And then the other was like the third most bullish stonk in the entire collection as far as the, you know, the return level. And then outside of that, you know, just a handful of other beautiful, pretty unique ones as well. And, you know, some of those are still sitting out there right now on X2Y2. That like, and it sucks, but you know, something that taken away from this, I've talked through them, just trying to dig into what happened a little bit more. And I think it's important to share with everybody, just to, you know, be able to take that lesson and help understand exactly what caused that. So that way, you know, we don't end up encountering that again in the future. And, you know, he was really transparent about it. Like, you know, sad situation. He was in the hospital because he just got in a motorcycle accident. So he said he was on his phone checking through something, and he saw something about the Porsche Mint that just happened. So he clicked on the, you know, the link for the Porsche Mint, or what he thought was the link for the Porsche Mint. And when he accessed the website, and he was on MetaMask Mobile, when he accessed the website, it basically said, "Hey, your wallet is eligible to claim for a free mint. You know, like you're one of the wallets that's been selected, eligible to claim this as a free mint." You know, he's sitting there in the hospital, like already not having a good day, you know, bouncing back, recovering. And, you know, he ends up deciding, hey, like, why not just try this out? That sounds cool, right? Like, so he ends up doing it. And whenever he signs that transaction, he said he immediately saw a transaction request for some super sketchy token come through for an approval of whether or not to swap out some of his ETH for it. And he said he declined it. And then he was just super, you know, kind of paranoid about, he said he just exited out of the browser because he didn't want anything else to happen. But unfortunately, like, exiting out of the browser isn't going to, whenever you sign something, right? Like, it's on the blockchain, it's already, the approval signed. So I think that he thought whenever he declined that transaction, that was it, that it was over. But I think simultaneously to his approval of that, he signed an approval similar to what happened to Kevin Rose, where it gave access to the hacker, or the fisher, whatever you want to call it. Basically, he signed an approval that allowed all of his NFTs in his collection to be sold at zero to the fisher. And I want to say fisher because it's a phishing attack. It's not a hack, right? Like, his MetaMask didn't get hacked. He signed a token by being phished. And I think it's a very important distinction to make. So anyway, he went through that. It was one of those things where, it just sucks, man. Like, after those were transferred over, he didn't even realize that they were really transferred over. Luckily, it was a suspicious thing. So OpenSea flagged it, but like, people use those sites like X2Y2 to get around that. And, I want to reach out to him too and just say, hey, I'm still trying to confirm with him if there are any others that are on the floor there that he's really, passionate about getting back, because I think those would be important to secure. So, he is able to do that. But like, outside of that, man, it's just, it's a tough situation to see that happen to a good guy. Like, he's in good spirits about it, but it's just an important lesson to be able to take away from that, something seems too good to be true. Odds are it is too good to be true. And, you just got to be super careful of that in this space. And, they're going to try to get you whenever you're down and weak and kind of, incapacitated, like he was while he was in the hospital bed checking his phone and on MetaMask, right? Like, and that's also probably a reason, honestly, the majority of people probably shouldn't even have a MetaMask extension on their phone, especially if it's a hot wallet that like has your NFTs on there. It's just not worth it, right? Whatever degen mint, whatever sale, like, it doesn't have to happen immediately. Just I think it's just safer if you've got something like that on there, let it be a clean wallet, right? Like, just to cut down on any of those suspicious type of activities that you might be prone to, because, even like when you're out and you've got MetaMask on your phone, you could be drinking and same type thing, right? You could be drinking incapacitated in one form or another, just not in your best state of mind. And you could see this on your phone and be like, oh shit, like, whatever. And your sober mind may say, hey, like, red flag, stop right there. But your other self might be like, oh, F it, like, let's go. And then you run into that type of situation. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened here. But anyway, I just wanted everybody to be aware of kind of how that happened, because it is important, going through this. There are people that are out there doing this every single day right now. And, after they end up hacking a few people, they delete their website, they delete the URL, they delete the tweets, they try to delete every single sign of whatever happened, and then they create something new. So they go through, rinse and repeat this process and put it under different disguises, but it's all the exact same type thing. And it's all shit. And we talk about this all the time. It's all shit that's just too good to be true. So just be careful.
I'm gonna go.
Don, or Hades, go ahead.
I'm gonna pin a couple things up top for security. I had a space this week. D Huts was on there talking about security. He made an awesome thread. So just for the listeners up there, I'll pin up some information. That's really a good go-to source.
I have a question, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I want to make sure. Okay, so he's claiming, was the link that fished him to a site signing the transaction, or he signed a transaction after he was on the site, like MetaMask?
He signed the transaction after he was on the site, is what he said. So he said that he accessed it, like he saw a tweet, that what was a supposed, Porsche Mint tweet, and he was just curious to check it out. Like, oh, what's going on with the Porsche Mint?
Yeah,
and he even said,
FOMO.
I don't know why in the hell I was curious to the Porsche. So he accessed the site, and it had a pop-up that said, hey, your wallet is eligible to claim this free mint. You're one of the lucky people that's eligible for
And he
this. And he
signed
was like,
that.
oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Too
signed
good to
that
be true.
because
Yeah.
he was like, let me just try
He
it.
got caught up in the
Exactly.
moment. Yeah. Always take a moment, take a breath, reread it, check the URLs, all that stuff. And personally, I don't keep a MetaMask on my phone unless it's just a hot wallet to mint something while I'm traveling and can't do anything else. I don't keep anything in it. If I need to, I transfer from an exchange into that wallet, buy the token, transfer the token out, and that's it. You know, that's like I never mint anything on my phone.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, it's just it's tough. Yeah, definitely minting on the phone is always a red flag. You know, wherever you are, it's always just it's more difficult to verify, I think, on the
Well,
phone
you can't
than
read
it
it.
is.
It's small type. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah, it's like you're not taking your time. You're standing in the street corner and there's a cab honking at you or whatever. Like, not the way to be interacting with contracts. And especially if you got unsecured tokens or whatever in there.
Yeah, man. I mean, so anybody else have any questions on this? Because as you know, much as it's kind of a bummer to talk about, especially as Bitcoin's starting to rip right now, I think it's important to talk about, right? Like, so I think it's one of those things that as a community, you have to address those type of issues as they happen. Um, you know, and again, like if you see those on the floor, like because there are some solid stonks from them on the floor, I don't think it's one of those things where, unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about it is like they are fair game at this point, right? You know, but I think the proper etiquette is if you've reached out to the guy and you know he does want to buy it back at whatever the floor price is, and it's something that he makes clear now, and that's something that I'm really trying to work with him on is just make clear, hey, here are the ones that I think that I can do sometime soon. I don't think that may be right if he, I don't know. There becomes like a limit to the, you know, limitation to the amount of time that you probably can, but it's all up to the person that purchases it at this point, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know, it's just
Pudgy got wrecked about an hour ago. About 40 Pudgies.
Yeah, 49 pudgies
no,
got hacked from an Azuki link
dude.
because the Azuki server got hacked. The
And
Discord server.
he saw something on the Azuki thing, and then
Yeah,
who was
but
it?
I don't know if it's someone with 49. I should know, but they haven't come out.
It might be like just a private wallet of somebody that you do know, like.
Yeah, could be, but
Is
I
this
don't
just from
understand.
clicking links, Stonkfather?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all it is.
yeah.
Same, you know.
It's all fish. It's all
Well,
phishing,
but it's
dude.
not. No, no, no. Here's the deal. 80s. It's not just clicking the link, right? Clicking, going to the URL in and of itself, like that's not going to do. You still have to sign something on your like with your wallet when you get there. So the people are going down these links, and if the Azuki thing was hacked, most likely Azuki probably had some type of thing on their Discord. They typed out, "Hey, surprise mint for whoever you know the first whatever number of people that do this, only available for the next." So like they set a certain sense of urgency that like you have to do this now, right? And there are a limited number of people, limited number of time. So it creates this sense of urgency. And with that, like, you know, they just play on human emotions at that point. So they get people to sign something that just sounds too good to be true. And it's a lot worse when it comes from something like a hack server that, you know, sounds like this really official channel because it is. But that's why you got to be even mindful with that type of stuff. If you see something in one of your Discord servers that just doesn't seem quite right, like, you know, I'll say this: if LedgArt is ever going to have any type of mint again, I get it that the Wonky Stonks were a stealth launch, free mint, whatever, you know, but like, I just thinking about it, it's not safe to do stealth launches anymore for your community. It just isn't, right? Like, so that'll never happen again. We will never do another stealth launch. And I want to make that clear because it's like, if even the idea is out there in people's heads that you might, and something like what just happened to Azuki happens, people are going to chase that down. But I want to make it damn well clear if you ever see something in the Discord or from my account or anything else that says, hey, surprise, here's this mint, like it is definitely not me. It is definitely not Hondo. It is nothing associated with us. Do not go down that road.
Well, we had earlier, I think it was like early this morning, thrown in the chat, a fake LedgArt account was trying to get people to mint a new collection. I think it was, right, Rooster?
Yeah, it was it was a weird advertisement too. It was like there was just an
88 ETH.
88 ETH sale, right? To celebrate
Fuck.
we're minting again. Like it was fucking stupid.
An 88 ETH sale, huh? Like, dude, where was I seeing that?
Bro, you already
That's
saw
funny.
it and released something new to mint. Duh.
Yeah, dude. So again, that's the thing. Like, you can always tell what's sketchy, what's not. Like, we can't harp on security enough in these spaces. Like, I will never get tired of talking through that conversation. So, yeah, man, hopefully, again, sucks to have it happen, but hopefully this is something that benefits people down the road because you realize, like, what to watch out for. And, I mean, this one hits close to home for me because it's the first big hack that we've had within the stonk community that I can think of. Right. So,
Yeah, we've had a couple minor ones in the past, but nothing of this magnitude. That was rough, man.
Yeah, didn't someone get hacked twice?
Yeah, Stinky Duck, I think it was.
No, not Stinky Duck. It was somebody else. They got hacked and then bought all their NFTs back, and sent it back to the same compromised wallet, and then got them the same ones jugged again.
Yeah, that was Stinky Duck.
That was Stinky Duck?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Actually, yeah.
It's so bad too.
oh, dude, that's awful. I remember hearing briefly about that, and it sucks. Like, I don't know, man. It's just tough to see. So you got to be careful, man.
I caught it because it was I saw it listed. It was a stonk that got listed that I had gifted him, and it's pretty unique stonk. And I reached out to him immediately. I'm like, "Yo, your wallet? What the fuck's going on? Are you selling this? Because I don't think you would." And he ended up getting his whole entire wallet drained. Ended up getting his stonks back, or all of his NFTs, a
So
majority.
you bought them all back.
He bought them all back and then put them in the same fucking wallet. And not even a couple hours later, I saw the same damn stonk listed again. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I felt so bad, man.
No, man. That's painful. Hey, but I'm just sitting here as we're speaking, though, shifting to something fun. Bitcoin's starting to rip.
Let's go, baby. Are we gonna get a Kaleo share buyback, a stonk buyback program? Like we're Kaleo stonk father Hathaway.
You
We
had that
might
for
have
like the
to. We'll
past
see,
8
man. We'll
months.
see.
Hey, yeah, I'll do a 5 ETH sweep if you do a 5 ETH sweep. So just let me know.
I'll
Get
let you know
DJ
when. I'll let you know when. We could. I'm. Here we just a little squeeze higher, and we might be working on making something happen.
Let's go.
Hey, your giveaway is doing some numbers too, man. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
do a giveaway. I'm
dude,
talking
that's
about
what I
that.
pinned up top. I meant to bring that up next. So hey, if you haven't yet, you can like and retweet it, and I'm going to go through and just, I don't know, it's going to be tough going through everything with it. But dude, I want to just say, I think it speaks to the power of one of the things that we really have that a lot of communities don't is just that reach, man. Like, look at the reach on that. Over 500,000 impressions.
Yeah, that's numbers,
Holy
baby.
shit, dude.
That's fucking numbers.
That's
I miss when
wild.
the giveaways were like 70 entries. I mean, I still never won one from those random ones, even at like the highest odds. But like, yeah, I mean, you can go ahead like and retweet, but like right now you got like a 0.2% chance to win.
It's not as good of a chance as you normally have had in the past. I'll say that. Like, it's really not. But I mean, it's out there. So anyway, like I mean, I looked at it. The LedgArt account gained 700 followers from it, like overnight. I was like, oh damn, like it's back above 35K. So yeah, again, I'm just saying, dude, people discount the value of having reach like that. Like, again, with that, did that necessarily convert immediately into 500,000 people going out there and buying a stock? No, but what it does do is it gets exposure. It gets the project in front of 500,000 people. And I'm just telling you, like, that's the thing with marketing. Time, it's just a time process, right? Of slowly getting things in front of people and then just letting everything do the work from there. So yeah, like I was pretty hyped about that. Still am.
We just need to make like a wonky symbol suit, like pinstripe suit, and then have someone wear it at like the Met Gala.
Dude, I will so rock a wonky suit in Vegas. Don't even tempt me.
A wonky suit in Vegas. It's funny.
Bro, I mean, honestly, like it'd be clean as hell, like full black, and then just like very thin, like the repeating LedgArt logo, uh, like super tiny pinstripes going up, so you could only see it's a logo from pretty close. That'd be fire.
No, definitely, man. I mean, one day it's gonna happen. We'll have Boschholder at Sotheby's again.
Honda's gonna drop a pinstripe suit in the merch store tomorrow. Watch out.
You never know with Hondo, man. He might be working on it now that you said it.
Hey, I saw the drop on the Apple and the YouTube. That's awesome, man. I was talking to Hondo.
Hondo's been killing it.
Yeah, he's been killing it, brother.
He has really been killing it with that stuff. So, yeah, if you missed any episode, it makes it a lot easier to go back and listen. Especially if you want to go back and like find some stuff rather than digging through the Twitter archive tweets. You can just go on there and everything's in one place, right? So, yeah, just makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, so yeah, if you haven't checked that out, do it yet. And again, I don't think that it's up yet. Hondo, you can send me a message if I'm right or wrong. But we do have new swag that's coming to the merch store as well soon. You got to be on the lookout for. And dude, I'm just gonna say it. I know I hyped up the hoodies the other day, but the hoodies are so dang comfortable. Like I'm wearing those things every day now. Caesar,
are we gonna
up,
get
man?
the koozies finally in the update? I want
Yeah,
the
Jesus
koozie.
Christ. The
I
koozie.
know.
Bro, okay,
Here.
here's the deal. Maybe. Well, like, you can talk to
Fucking
Hondo.
slow drip.
I told you the koozies that I had were actually made by my girlfriend, through a third party, whatever. So that's how I ended up getting the koozies. But I mean, you're right. Like, koozies would be something easy that we could probably put in there.
I also request a Wonky Stonk water bottle for the gym. I'm all about water, so
hey,
that'd be fine.
I know what the trendy. Maybe we can get it Stanley Wonky Stonk bottles. I know that's the trendy thing right now, right?
Let's do it, baby. Hell yeah. Let's rock and roll. I'll even have the wife go to the gym with one.
You just pretty much gotta wonkify like every daily item or article of clothing and just throw it up in the store. We need like 400 options.
Caesar, brother, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Mr. 80s, Mr. Kaleo, everyone here, friends. Very fucking good, man. Another Friday. I finish my tour spaces and then I come here to hang out with you. And it's always amazing, man. And I just wanted to say, to add to the talk that Kaleo was saying about security, look, it just takes going to ledger.com and you pay around $100 and then you get your ledger delivered. And people don't do this, man. I didn't do it for a long time, but you need to fucking get your ledger, man. And one of the biggest doubts that people have is that if you lose your ledger, will you lose your crypto? The answer is no, because your ledger is also associated with a seed phrase, so you can always just
seed
recover.
phrases are also dangerous, bro. You gotta, seed phrase management's a really important topic too if you're starting to go down that route.
Yes, let's talk about seed phrase management, exactly. But I just wanted to point out that it's so easy to get a ledger and then just set it up, send your crypto, and that when you like, if you lose your ledger, you don't lose your crypto.
Yeah,
if
ledger
you have the
doesn't
seed
stop
phrase.
you from signing transactions, so that's like the main key.
It's all about it's all about the way that you because still same thing with like that, right? it's about the way that you use whatever. If you use the ledger purely to transfer from hot wallet to cold wallet, hot wallet to cold wallet, that's it. You're going to be safe, right? But if you are using it, never use a ledger to sign a transaction.
Exactly. What's your alpha on seed phrases, securing your seed phrases? Should you? What I do,
Bro,
I tell my mom, man.
let me tell you, like, there is no perfect answer, but I want to tell you the funniest thing from that I ever heard as far as private key management. That back when I first got involved in crypto in 2017, this is what the guy that like taught me about it. He worked for Consensus. He was in on the ETH pre-sale, like freaking loaded from that. He was loaded whenever ETH was like he quit his job because he was up so much. Whenever ETH broke above $100, he said he was set for the rest of his life. So like, I'm sure he's doing, pretty well right now. This is what he told me that he did. He went out in the middle of the desert, where there was no Wi-Fi connection, no anything else, like got some steel plates, and put the private key on the steel plates, and then flew to multiple banks around the world and deposited them in safes of multiple banks around the world. So like parts of the private key, not the whole thing, so that if you ever needed to, that's how you could access it.
So then, Kaleo, where are the coordinates in the desert for your seed phrase location? Like,
I mean, yeah, they're buried out there somewhere.
See BTC in the stage, and we have Money Rich up here. Real Money Rich. I love that name. What's up, brother?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm just eating dinner. How are we all doing? Thanks for having me up here. It's the first one I've attended. I've been meaning to attend one of these for a while because I had a Wonky Stonk ages ago. So like I think right near the start. But I got rid of all my crypto and everything like a bit ago, and then I'm now jumped back in like a couple months back. But I just wanted to sort of hear a bit about the project, chill up here, vibe. You guys are cool. Katie, I've been following you for ages, so big fan. Like to listen to you guys talk. It's I like the vibes here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, welcome back. So do you mind asking if I ask kind of the story, why you left, what brought you back?
I'm not gonna lie, because I got into crypto, so I got into crypto when COVID hit, and I was deep in trading like shit coins and everything, and I was just trying to flip literally everything. So at the time, I wasn't like deeply invested into the, I wasn't really keeping hold of much for long term, and now I'm sort of on the scout out now for like longer term projects and good communities and stuff like that. I've kind of changed my mindset on the whole crypto thing, and I'm also not actually that big into NFTs. I'm more into the crypto side, so I'm trying to like step into some NFT projects that I think could be good for me.
I got you, man. That makes sense. It's one of those things. I think a lot of people are in that same boat that dip their toes in the water after COVID because what else was there to do? That kind of stepped away. But I think that as things get more interesting and you kind of take a break and see some articles and stuff pop up, you're seeing a lot of those people that were introduced back then starting to gravitate back toward the space. So you're definitely not alone in that.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's good to have you here, man. I'm curious, what are the things that you're looking at right now? What have you, kind of, so you said you've been back for 2 months. Have you just been spending that kind of time kind of researching, because I mean, hey, if you've been back for 2 months and that's where you bought back in, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, all right. So, I mean, I've had some toes in the water, but a lot of my capital I took out. But I've always been in the space in terms of like, always been watching and researching and looking at channels and podcasts, all this sort of stuff. I never stopped because I'm really into the whole crypto scene. I'd say it's my like hobby now. Like it's the only thing I find myself looking at like day to day and reading up on. But yeah, no, I'm doing all right now because I did sort of DCA since probably about the last 3 or 4 months, to be honest, approximately. But yeah, it's going well. I mean, what are you asking? Like what I bought, or
Yeah, yeah. Like what have you purchased? What are you getting into? What's your key area of interest? Or are you kind of just exploring everything right now still?
I've got. I mean, there's a couple things I'm a couple projects that I like quite a lot. I quite like the music NFT side of things. There's a UK company called Ditto Music, and they also now run a token. They've got their own token, and basically they're going to be able to. I think they're launching the whole thing actually on February the 1st, but they've been around for like a year or year plus, and you're going to be able to basically, or you already have been able to buy NFTs or music NFTs of artists and their songs, and then receive the royalties from said songs or albums and stuff like that. And it's one of the goals is to get supporting the smaller artists and people who might have a few hundred fans, then their fans can sort of buy their early stuff and support them that way without the need of like record labels. So I'm big into like music NFTs and stuff like that as well at the moment. But there's a few other things like storage coins and stuff like that I like as well.
Interesting stuff, man. So you said, did you mint a Wonky back in the day, or did you, just purchase one on the secondary?
No, I purchased one. I'm trying to remember what I bought it for, but I'm pretty sure it was. I don't want to get it wrong because I don't want to sound stupid, but I'm pretty sure it was like 0.0 something or other. Like it was pretty low at the time, I think.
No, I mean probably so. There was a long period of time that it was down in those levels.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I'd stayed around, but at the time, honestly, my mindset was all over the place with just trading like random coins and random bits and bobs and NFTs. It was like the euphoria stage, and I feel like I've learned through that, and now I'm sort of preparing myself for that longer term, sort of the next 2 years, 3 years, setting myself up now for hopefully if it all goes well, a decent run the next few years.
Oh, well, best of luck to you, man. We do these spaces every Friday. I mean, heck, I've been hosting spaces every single day, though. Feel free to come in, chat, hang out whenever. It's a open forum. Found that that's the best thing over the year. We've had quite a few people that have gotten involved in the community slowly but surely, just from like coming up on stage, like yourself right now. So yeah, man, appreciate having you up here.
Oh, can I just ask a question as well?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I was just wondering because obviously it's not really crypto related, this question. It was more going to be about like your Twitter presence as your project and as yourself. How you guys sort of go about networking and stuff, because I'm trying to build my own. It's not a project like I do a podcast. I'm trying to network and build out that way. And I just wanted to get your opinion, because obviously you're a very well known around here, so I thought you'd have some knowledge on that.
I mean, for me, man, a lot of it goes back to just consistency, right? Being authentic and being consistent. Yeah, I mean, there are other ways that you can engagement farm that people do. If you really want the engagement farming method, like, just literally going to people's accounts that say GM, saying GM back and doing it consistently. Like I've seen a lot of people that have just gained traction and gained some followers just from doing that. I think one thing that is important too is there's so many people with a lot of value, especially when you're first starting off. Like, I don't know, man, spam your feed with a bunch of random accounts. I try to keep mine semi-curated because I like to scroll through. But when you're first starting off, dude, just follow as many people that are quality accounts as you can. Make those connections and get yourself out there, because, yeah, like that's the way to do it. It's just like on a social network, you have to engage. You can't like provide quality content, be authentic, and consistently engage. And before you know it, you'll start to grow a brand.
Yeah. What you want to do too is like look at like people that you find like before, like that if you've been here for a while, like what accounts are kind of quality, and just go and check who they're following and just spam follow whoever they're following. If you have no idea who's quality, it's probably like Well, I mean, that's what I did back when I first got onto Twitter. And you'll start finding like, and then your feed will probably get better from that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to like the GMs and all that. Like, I did used to do that. When I say used to, like, I still do it occasionally, but I used to do it a lot, like at the start. And I'm kind of thinking now, like, is it actually quality? I don't find it always that quality of a connection, if you know what I mean. And so I've sort of toned down on it. But
No, you need those people on your feed because you need to fade those people when things get really frothy. Like you need everyone on the spectrum. You need like right curve people, left curve people, and middle curve people, and you got to find like who are the best indicators for all three, and follow, and then equally space them out, and that's probably the best like sentiment analysis you can do.
I always find that like your intentions as well make a huge difference. Like, what are you intending to do? What are you intending to give out to an audience? What are you intending to build relationships with? And once you do that, you start engaging, like Kaleo said, start replying to people, slide in someone's DM, open up a conversation. A simple "how you doing today? What are you working on?" will go a long way. And just stay consistent with that. And slowly you'll start cultivating this group around you, and then certain people in that group will introduce you to another group, and then that organic growth will just continue to build. But stay consistent with it. And even if somebody doesn't give you the attention that you're looking for, move on. There's a millions of people out here that are willing to share your authenticity, because I think that's one of the biggest things that Kaleo touched on, is that true self, that authenticity. No matter what, you are unique, and people will resonate with your uniqueness. Just don't ever lose it.
yeah, thanks for that, guys. I appreciate that.
Kevin, what's up, man?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you go. Hey, so no, I just wanted to jump in. I mean, I've been seeing the Wonky Stonks pumping for weeks now, right? And I can't get rid of mine because you sent me the Wonky Stonks. I won it on a space one week. I was like, man, this is gonna hold extra value because it says it was sent from Kaleo himself. So I'm like, man, I can't get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a project founder myself. I'm not going to show my project. I mean, I should because you have a huge following, but I might have to sell it. But I'm like, man, and you know what? At the beginning, I wanted to buy more. When you gifted me, I mean, when I won it on the spaces, they were pretty low, and I was like, man, these are the meme from around when I was around, right? And it's like, this is gonna be awesome and get some value. And they finally gained traction at like a weird time. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I know if I sell, these are gonna pump to like 2-3 ETH, and I'm just not going to. So I'm gonna do what
He doesn't even realize he has the most valuable one in the collection, one from Kaleo. Like, my brother in Christ, Kaleo keeps a spreadsheet on every piece that he's ever gifted, and he's waiting, man. That price is going to go through the roof, so be careful.
Well, it's like about provenance, or like I'm always thinking, man, like if I owned an NFT that a certain celebrity had, I think that should be worth more, right? And like Kaleo's a pretty big guy, so I mean, people that are looking through those like kinds of receipts in history, maybe they'll find more value in it. I don't know.
So yeah, you're at like one of like 150 right now. So there's pretty much been 150 Kaleo signatures on the stonks.
Well, that have been handed out as gifts.
Yeah.
That have been handed out as gifts. So yeah, man, like I do wonder, we've talked about that before in this space, when that'll become more of a thing. Because right now, we have talked about the potential of that transaction history and who owned it having significance. And yeah, I do think there's a possibility for that really having an arc and being something that people pay more attention to down the line, especially in historical collections, right? And I think that's one of the things that when you're looking at everything, again, going back to that tweet pinned at the top, like that's what the stonks are. Like they are a historical collection at this point. I know it's only been, 15, nearly 16 months, but like, in the NFT space, that's a good amount of time. And there are a ton of projects out there that were released a lot later than the stocks that just I feel like don't have the same uniqueness that stonks do.
And by the way, this was an Easter gift, so I won it during Easter.
On one of these spaces, on one of these Fridays, if it was an Easter gift, it was probably, a month and a half into it.
There you go.
So like probably space number 6 or something. You hopped up, got on here, and yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, like as you can see, we haven't gone away since Easter. Didn't matter what the floor was or anything like that through the process. It just is it's always been a slow grind, man. Like, and that's my belief with everything with this is that if you just continue to show up, slowly grind, and like slowly work, that consistency does pay off, especially whenever you've got something, that I think is as high quality and unique as the stonks. Like, I think it's just a matter of time still. When I'm looking at it and looking at where we're heading, I still see it as super early, man. Like, the stocks are something that I'm passionate about. I'm not leaving this space. And, so like I'm looking at it, it's not just about the next few months, it's years and years down the road that I really picture, where this collection is going and, where it'll be cemented.
I love it. And to me, it's like, it makes me feel something where it's like I was being an ape and doing the whole AMC thing, right? In GameStop and that whole debacle and getting into NFTs. And like, it just makes me, it's kind of like a nostalgic feel to be the beginning of what all that weirdness happening, right? With all these stocks. And it's like, it's awesome. And yeah, it's a historical piece for me, at least.
Bro, that's part of the vision of it, right? Why it was released the way it was, because if you look at it, it was after like 2021 was the year of the meme stock, right? The year of the meme stock, the year crypto went crazy, the year of all that. It's like, what better way to memorialize that than the stonks, right? I think it kind of captures the heart of that trading phenomenon that onboarded so many people both into this space and into trading in general. So, looking at that, like that was a real part of the inspiration behind the collection in the first place.
And it also makes me think of your crazy ass tweets where like you're betting millions of dollars on these swings and like, oh my God, this guy. And then it didn't work out in your favor. It's like, oh, well. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's got a lot of, I think a lot of things that stick out that really add to the significance of the history behind it. And there's slowly people that are coming along that you're seeing over the course of especially the past few weeks. Like price going up does a funny thing. I don't really care about where the price is because again, we were here like when you won, man, it was down at like 0.05 ETH, right? Like
exactly.
And we continue to show up, right? Like, so regardless of where it is, we're going to be here. But I think as a byproduct of that, you have seen things like the floor slowly start to climb and stuff like that. But, there's so many people that I think have just heard about it over time that as price does go up, it does become more interesting to look at. I don't know why, right? Like, I don't get what it is that for people when they see something under 0.1 ETH, they're like, oh, that's a bit too risky. It could easily go to zero. But when it's above a certain price, now you're like, oh, above a quarter ETH, like, oh, yeah, like that's tempting now, right? Then all of a sudden it gets to 1 ETH and it's like, oh, man, like, whew, I missed out. Like, yeah, could I have bought 20 of these a year ago? Yep. But like, hey, it's not going to go anywhere now. So like, let me spend 1 ETH on one. Right, like it's a funny thing the way the human mind works in that aspect, but it's the same thing with a bunch of hedge fund managers, VCs, with the way like what they're allowed to invest in and what they're not. Some people just aren't allowed to invest in riskier products. So, and I'm not even using like NFTs are a parallel to this, not necessarily the main point of it. But like whether that's a company or, a coin, a project, whatever else that it is, same type of thing does apply in the NFT space where, people use that same mindset and approach.
People are attracted to cultures, right? Throughout history. It's like the next upcoming culture, you want to be a part of it, or you're navigating through life and you're trying to find that tribe, that group that that you resonate with. And if you see a small group of people and they start creating a culture around a specific idea, that resonates deeply with people, and people want to cultivate that culture a little bit more, and they want to be involved with that culture and to see where that culture will take them. And this is a culture that we have developed organically, and it's a beautiful culture, man.
No, it definitely is. So yeah, Kevin, love having a couple new faces up here. BTC Art, good to have you another day, another space. Welcome back, my man. How are you doing?
Hey. I'm just listening. It's a little loud where I am. Can you guys hear me? A little loud, Nick.
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Right on. I'm just enjoying it. I just want to send love and light always, and thanks for keeping up the grind, Leo, captain in the ship. Super grateful. Everything's kind of awesome sauce now, and I hope you guys are having a crispy day. Peace.
Well, appreciate that, sir. Hey, so something else I wanted to touch on real quick that I meant to a minute ago, got distracted. I pinned it up at the top because I forget, I think it was money, just talking about making connections, this, that, and the other. Okay, there's an example of two people, and like if you go through their accounts, you can tell they have no other content other than basically who's active right now. Only real legends reply to this. This account follows like 20,000 legends. Are you one of them? What?
She'll moon.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I have them all muted, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I see a bunch of mutuals that follow these accounts, and like they popped up, bought their followers, then start doing these engagement baiting tactics. And as you can see on the the thread from Zach, like these are the same guys scamming you. I mean, heck, shout out.
Yeah, so they bought they bought accounts from people, or they bought access to it, like not the account. So like the dude actually does have, a mutant PFP is, part of the reason how they get to trick people. And then yeah, so it looks more legit, but yeah, they buy the followers and, buy the use of the account. And then I think one of the guys is making 20% off every sale or whatever from one of the accounts, like all the rugs he's making 20% off of. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's sad. Rooster, how were the Fat Nuts rug? Tell me about that, because I mean, it says it was a rug. I'm just curious. I know you said one day they went to zero. Like, what happened with that? What was the story?
Bro, I honestly have no idea. Like, I knew they were going to zero before I even minted them. Like that, so some things are not really that hard to tell. I mean, if you ever believed Fat Nuts is gonna have any lasting power, just because you missed out on the Mima feet picks, stop chasing the market, right? You're really just gambling and hoping and praying, right? I'm not saying you necessarily deserve to get wrecked, but it's kind of expected at that point. But yeah, I honestly have no. I mean, I think everybody knew they were gonna rug, and then so the rug just happened. I guess I don't know.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So, yeah, but I mean, that was an example of one of the projects that I remember hearing about, and I didn't know they were associated with it, but makes sense.
Yeah, I had no idea they were associated with it either, to be honest. I don't even remember where I heard about the Fat Nuts first. Maybe
I got that from PP. That was the only play I got rugged on. So I lost 2 weeks because I went and not. I thought it was going to send a lot further before it went to zero, but RIP.
Oh, it actually did have the tiniest bit of momentum, but then they made stupid announcements, obviously, because it was a rug.
Okay, yeah. So what were the stupid announcements? That's what I'm curious on. What was the death nail type of thing?
So they were doing some type they did like immediately announce some type of airdrop of like come or some stupid shit, and then yeah, there's like I don't know. You could claim like another NFT or something, and then yeah, I don't know. They said like it was going to be like a free airdrop, and then they were like trying to like charge you. You only got one free of the new NFT or some shit. Yeah, it was dumb. I was out by that point anyways. Like everybody knew the play was to like get out hours before the airdrop.
Yeah, it was just a race.
Yeah, it was a hot potato game.
No, but I mean, you can go to those accounts and you'll see people that you recognize following them. Point being, like, the engagement baiting works, but you've just got to be careful of that type of stuff if you're getting back in the game, because like the people that are doing that, that's all that they're doing. You know, they've usually got some selfish agenda behind it, and they want to use you for exit liquidity on one thing or another. Money, what's up? Y'all feel free to chime in at whatever. Like, I keep saying this, but I do not need to guide every single thing with the guy. Like these Friday spaces, especially, just let them roll. Let them roll, man.
I was just so used to put my hand up in these things. I was like, I don't want to interrupt, and then you interrupt and someone speaks at the same time, and it's all awkward. But no, I was gonna say about like all these sort of engagement posts and that, and the people that do them, and like shit and villain and stuff like that. I see it all the time, but I don't actually get what do you actually gain apart from the number of followers? Like, is it to reach an end goal to effectively, like, these guys are scamming, obviously, but
No,
I know.
yeah, they're extracting liquidity from the market, even if it's not necessarily like like a wallet drainer or anything. They're just dumping minuscule mints that are like between like $6 and $10, but like multiplied by thousands.
Yeah, I
You're
got
pulling
followed by that
in.
guy as well, and I was like, I did wonder. I was like, I feel like he's been everywhere recently. I guess that's why.
Yeah, I mean, like the scammers that are doing it are spending 20 hours a day scamming people for like months and months. Like their thought process is different. Like sometimes it might catch you off guard, because you just don't think like they do, right? They have their minds wired now to like only think and like how to scam people. So these scams are getting like super intricate, and how with things getting better, people will probably start utilizing AI technology for scams now. Like, you just get, if for the most part, if something sounds too good to be true, just like stay away from it. Right, you're not gonna have just like $1 million fall in your lap as much as everybody wants that to happen.
Narcissism. It's like lack of empathy, just pure greed. That's all it is.
I feel like scammers come in both forms. You have like the obvious dumb ones, like the ones you've mentioned, and then you have like people like Sam, right? Where it's like if you look at if you study like scams and like Ponzi's and shit, it's always like someone you think is a gigabrain and you can't comprehend how they're that smart, or it's just like obvious snake oil dumbass salesman. Um, and then you like that's why you gotta like gravitate, and it's like emotional intelligence, and it's stuff you like either you have or you don't. And it's like the people like the too good to be true, like you know what I mean. It's like the people like that haven't had like set expectations, and like it's like they just haven't realized or something. They live in it's like maybe like a little, I don't want to say delusional, but you know what I mean. It's like you're not gonna get free shit handed to you. um, I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in New York where I'm like I'm not falling for this dumb shit, you know. And I think that's why I've like navigated well. But like if you're looking at, there's always a commonality with these Ponzi, with these fucking grifters. Like I said, it's just one or the other, and they're on both ends of the curve. And you just have to know how to read between the lines. And I think there's like red flags for all that stuff. You just have to kind of like see like what the commonalities are, and if it's like if you can't understand it, it's probably a Ponzi. And if the guys, if they're like in your face all the time and they're like doing all that dumb shit, it's probably a
If it's
Ponzi.
called a Ponzi, it's probably a Ponzi.
If it's called Ponzi,
Yeah.
it's definitely a Ponzi. But like we do that to have fun. Like we know it's obviously dog shit, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
And there's a level to it too where people are vulnerable, and scammers or people that have ill intentions, that's the prey, and they always feel it with human emotion. They hit you with who's active right now. It's like if you're a new person in here and you're trying to make friends and you're trying to do something, oh, I'm gonna go interact with this because I want to feel relevant, I want to feel part of this tribe, I want to feel a part of this big community. And it's unfortunate, but we as a community and as multiple communities out there talk about ways to navigate this. It's imperative that we build that resilience and that shield around us, not to play into the emotional side that we may be susceptible to.
I just want to quickly say that I'm hopping off now, guys, as well. I just wanted to thank you for being so kind, and hopefully I'll jump on some more of these as well. Sorry to just interrupt that. I just didn't want to dip out without saying goodbye.
No, man, you're good vibes, Money Rich. Have a blessed day, brother.
Yeah, you too, you too. See you all.
What's up, Caesar?
I just want to announce that very soon I'm going to make an announcement because I was waiting for some fucking payment, man, because I didn't receive payment for like a couple of months, like since back in late October. But now I got some money again, so I'm gonna do a
Someone
thing,
sweep.
man.
You're gonna fuck up the forces.
I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do a thing. So just making a
It's an
soon
announcement of
announcement.
an
Yes.
announcement, guys.
Exactly. That was everything I wanted to say. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Love it, man. Rooster, what you got going on this weekend, brother? You working? You going to the mountain?
Yeah, working. I got Sunday off. I don't
Nice.
typically go to the mountain on the weekend, so it's like hella busy, and I'm just like not a fan of big crowds of people, typically. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Had a nice, girlfriend day yesterday. So yeah, I don't know what I got in the books yet. What about you, man? Are you going to a new property you got?
No, I'm actually going to Texas.
Oh yeah.
Flying to see my stepdad. I hadn't seen him in a while, and he actually just got out of the hospital. Nothing too serious, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to see him, and it's been like 8 months. So I'm gonna go out there, hang out for the weekend. I'll be back Monday though. Caesar, man, you don't have to raise your hand, brother.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I will not raise my hand all the time that I want to talk, but I just wanted to say that another part of the decision is because I'm buying a new phone, man. So I'm like, fuck, if I'm buying a new fucking asset that is obviously not going to appreciate in value, I need to fucking buy something. Do you get my point? Like, I do one purchase of this kind, then I need to fucking do another purchase to compensate. So that was another extension from the previous announcement. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Love to hear it, my man. Love to hear it. Pick God, what do you have going on today?
Bro, I'm just chilling at work. No one's really here in the office. I just gotta hang out here for a little bit. My phone was about to die, so I just got you guys on speaker for the office. I'm in Philly, man, so I'm about to go out and enjoy the NFC Championship game. Hopefully, my Birds can get a dub here. Run it back turbo like 2018.
I see. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Zatani? Is that how you say it? Welcome to the
Yeah,
space.
Zintani. What's
All right,
up?
cool. Welcome. Enjoy the vibes.
Yeah, I saw Bogfather in here, so I joined as I
Tani.
tend to do when I see him. What's up?
Not much. I'm wage cucking right now. It's busy season, so I'm doing boring accounting things. But yeah, there's nothing else going on. I just want the Penguins to go up so I can start shit posting. And I mean, I actually like. I'm gonna go against my advice, but this cycle I'm definitely quitting my job because I'll be comfy enough to where I'll be good. But
I thought they did go up. I remember I was looking at my penguins. I was like, damn.
They're going up, but some guy got hacked. He lost like 49 penguins. Hopefully they all don't get dumped. But I don't know what's going on. I think he reported them as suspicious, but I don't think that really matters. You sell them on like X2, Y2 or something.
Oh,
Some of
shit, dude.
some of those exchanges gotta like. Well, actually, it's tough though because then the buyer gets screwed over. So there's no really good way to deal with that. But I don't know. I think Lucas said like there's a lot of news coming out over the next week or two. So hopefully it'll be Peng season again. But then you can change back to Detective Plunger.
Wait, so no, I can't because Twitter gets rid of your
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! I forgot. Last week I was into those feed pics and I changed my name to the Crocfather. I couldn't change it back for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that shit took a long time.
Yeah,
But wait, so the penguin thing, what? This is news? I'm like
no.
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh no,
I don't
so
know what's going on.
the
I don't know.
Azuki Discord got hacked like an hour or two ago, and some guy lost like 49 penguins because he clicked
Man,
on
that sucks, dude.
he clicked on a free feed pics link in the Azuki Discord and got rugged.
That's how they get you.
Wait, it was actually a feet pics link.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, bro, that is.
If that happened, it's like you kind of deserve it, dog. If it's feet, it's like let me. Oh man, but. Yeah, I don't think he was that was the case, but still, it's brutal. But hopefully, someone's gonna come in and like destroy the floor because like we're almost there. Like we're so close to. I mean, ETH is probably just gonna get there on its own. Hopefully, we don't drift anymore. And I think if ETH goes over 2K, things are gonna get very fun very fast. So for pretty much everything, it's gonna get really frothy. But
Dude, I'm chilling. I sold at the top and I bought when everything was really low, so I'm not even looking at it, dude. I'm not even well, okay, I looked at it a couple days ago. That felt good, but I'm not touching it. I mean, I have nothing to lose.
yeah, I mean that's really kind of where I'm at too. Like I have a bag, I'm just a no touch bag where I'm like fuck it. But you got to get a stonk for the culture though, Sintani.
What is this stonk? I've been
It's
listening.
yeah, it's Kaleo's project. It came out in like October 21, and we're coming back. We're coming back strong.
Let me
So
get a stonk. Where do I get one?
well on any NFT exchange near you. So it's probably cheapest on Blur. You can aggregate. They aggregate like everything. So they're at 0.34, but they're gonna. I mean, if you're asking me personally, not financial advice, these are gonna 10x. Once CT realizes NFTs are the future, it's gonna click very soon.
Let me get a stonk.
Let's
Where's the I'm clicking on your I don't know if he's here. Calio's profile. I don't
go
see
to
a
Oh,
link.
you want to go to the
LedgArt
LedgArt, the one
profile.
to host?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's the Twitter account for the project.
Yeah, if Bogfather tells me to buy, I buy. That's all I need to know.
Let's go.
I have to
Yeah,
start watching out because I've been shilling a lot of degen shit but this is actually no I have 180 of these things and I'm not selling anytime soon. So this is something I can confidently shill to people.
Yeah,
But
he's creeping up on you, Kaleo.
I mean, to be
I know,
honest though, like even if it went to Z, I wouldn't care. Like the NFTs I buy, I never have I don't have any expectation. I already have my bag,
yeah, no, but I'm just
and
saying
then I have my play bag.
no, but I've been tweeting out recently and I almost have 10K followers now and I'm like, oh fuck, I can't be tweeting like I used to tweet. It's like hitting me where I'm like, I can't tell people to buy feed pics and fucking Ponzi and like fat nuts and shit. Like everyone's gonna hate me real soon. So I'm just gonna do it like quietly and just meme about it. Well, you can't even meme about it. That's like the best part of it, right? Like just like, hey, look, I bought a bunch of this dumb shit, but I don't know. it's like that's the thing about NFT is like no one's gonna figure it out. Like it's like a tough like middle ground where it's like how are people gonna find out about the project without like you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you bought up all those and then you sold them. I'm like, yeah, I trade this shit, dog. Like, I'm not gonna hold fat nuts. I mean, I got rugged on fat nuts, but I'm talking about like feed pics and other things. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, I bought them early. I like, and I did tweet about certain things early too. So it's like, if I do tweet about it, I feel like it's early enough, and then I start memeing about it. But it's like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna get crazy too. Like when the cycle starts, and like anyone with a stonk or a penguin, like you're just gonna be like, oh, like you have a stonk, you have a penguin, and you're just like, it's basically how the apes got like huge accounts. It's gonna be like interesting to see, and we're all gonna get copy traded. You know what I mean? It's gonna be really. 2024 is gonna be a very weird year, honestly. So. But I
No,
got to.
that's real. People have been offering me money to shill projects that I don't know shit about for well since CT started. Even before NFTs. Like people in my DMs being like, I will give you a couple $1,000 to shill this thing. I'm
Are
like,
there
what
any
is
like
I don't know what this
projects?
thing is.
Are
Huh?
there any projects that you're willing to like maybe say like some of the ones that are maybe not around anymore? Or I'm just curious. I would love to know this.
Who met the one I'm thinking of right now, it was some Australian I think he's still like a big influencer. I don't know if his project was like bullshit or not, but I just thought it was weird. Because it's like, dude, I don't know you. I don't know your project. Where you at? I mean, I get that's like people get paid for it and stuff, but I feel like that doesn't make any sense. I don't trust that. Someone's offering you a bunch of money to shill a project. They don't know you. What? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like how do they have all that capital to put into paying the influencers with a project that hasn't even launched yet? Like, what's your real intention with it? It's just
Yeah, it's
right.
just fishy, dude. Like if I
Yeah,
didn't
for
have
real.
anything to do with making your project, I don't know shit about your project. Why are you asking? I don't know. I mean, I get that's like influencer culture, but it's just bizarre as someone that's like not an
I mean,
influencer. It's like
yeah.
bizarre looking at it.
No, yeah. I just got like a sponsorship from like this ZK casino, but like it's just like it's for DGens. I mean, it's just like gambling and whatever. But I'm like, all right, like I like did it for a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'll I'll take the sponsorship. Like I'm just, and I feel like if I'm gonna tweet it, like I've just been tweeting like a chart a day, and I'm like, if I give someone like some kind of content to shill a ref link down their throat, it's like a fair trade. I don't know, but it's not like a project. It's not like an NFT. I wouldn't like shill an NFT project. I mean, I was working with the Digi Penguins too, but they've been around. They were building when like no one when the Penguins were dead. So it's like things like that where it's like okay, like I know like what their intentions are, or if it's like something that's not like a complete rug, or I don't know, but
I can see
it's
if
like
you're like passionate about a project, like you know the people, you've been working with them, or not even working with them, just vibing in the community. And take for instance any PFP project that's a very well known top five. Some of the community members have gone above and beyond, and I think it's acceptable to accept some gratitude from the project and your efforts at that level.
Yeah. I think the only project that I'd be interested in being involved in is the Penguins, just because they've been around so long and they're also I mean the community is just like dope, dude. So like I trust them. But anything else, man, it's like it's not hate, it's just like I don't have the time to sit and research all these, you know.
Well, that's what you got to take into consideration. Like, what's your time and energy? Like, that you're willing
Yeah.
to get out into something else that you're maybe not as 100% passionate about some of your other endeavors, but it's always that time and energy. So,
When you think about it, being an influencer is a really scary job because even if you are doing your own research, I mean, like there, there, it's very, very probable that if something's a scam, that you'll also be. scammed into believing that it's legit. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh
Like
yeah.
the idea of being an influencer and making that's a scary. You're walking a tightrope there because you have no idea what's going to come in the future.
Well, you're always on
And
too.
that's your
You're always,
name, that's your brand,
yeah,
that's your reputation on the line.
exactly. Your reputation. You're always have to be on with that reputation, and if you're not, if you're doing ill intentions out there, or not even sometimes realizing that the speed at which you're approaching the space and the information that you're getting within every moment is dictating maybe a different way for you to look at something too. So always have your wits about you.
Yeah, and like I learned even from FTX, right? Where FTX, like I thought was the safest thing in the industry, right? And like I used it a ton, and it was one of those things. Like I'm not going to shill something that I, like don't use and try out whatever myself. And like I think that is the perfect example that it's tough, it's dangerous. Like there's nothing that's perfect.
So you always got to pretty much have a contingency plan, or at least if something does go unexpected, handle it the best way you can, and try not to have your entire life put into one hole, right?
No,
All right,
exactly, man.
I got a wonky stonk.
Let's
Or what is
Let's
it?
go!
Wonky
Let's
stonk?
go! Let's
go.
fucking go!
Which
think
one
it's
did you get? I also got mine. Which one did you get?
it's
Let's
pink.
go.
It's a pink wonky stonk.
Oh my god.
Love to hear it. Love to see it.
Can someone do a mashup for with Zintani's Little Pudgy? Which Little Pudgy do you like more again? It's not Detective Plunger, right? Is it
Oh
the
no
other one?
no 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 no! I love them equally, but
If
like
you
I
had to
gotta
do a
give it to
mashup,
Detective Plunger is a star, and albino juice box. She's great, but Detective Plunger is a star. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
all right.
But I
You
Well,
got to
love
tell the
them
stories
equally.
behind both of them.
I have other penguins. I do not love them. My big penguin. I'm so I'm a bad mom. I mean, I don't love him, and I don't love my other little pudgies either. That's just the truth. I mean,
You mind sharing the story behind them? Because it sounds like each one does have a story.
um, I don't know.
Like Detective Plunger.
I
When
mean,
did the name Detective Plunger first come to pass?
well, look at him. Wait, can you see my banner? He's on the case. He's on the case for sure. I don't know what case he's solving, but I know he's solving a case.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be like, somewhere tropical, right?
Yeah, that's what we've deduced is this is on a beach. He's a detective on a beach with a plunger. That's all I know. I don't know.
Sometimes that's all you need to know.
I mean, I did exactly. If you just look at him, that's all I need. The dude's gonna be big though. I can tell. He's a
he's a
he's
star.
got that star power.
I mean, Detective Plunger. That's like a great children's book. Like a penguin detective with a plunger on his head, like solving like crimes. Or they have to be like chill crimes. Like they can't be like felonies. It has to be like misdemeanors. You know, maybe an episode about like like a spreading a good message. Like, hey,
Who
stop
clogged the
doing it.
toilet?
Stop.
Who did it?
You gotta bring that up to you gotta bring that up to the
Do a
pudgy.
collab with Charmin.
I
Yeah,
actually
dude.
I messaged Lucas about that because I missed the deadline for the toys. And I messaged him. I was like, this is an atrocity against mankind. Like my little pudgy has to be a toy." He said he got me. So I don't know, we'll see.
quick side note: does anyone know how to cancel bids on Blur? I know how to do it. I thought I knew how to do it, but now I can't find the
Yeah,
thing.
just go to your profile and then click on bids, and
Okay.
then click the X on the right. Yeah, I've accidentally been skunked by Blur bids I forgot to cancel, and then like weeks later added ETH to the pool, and then it's like way higher, so someone accepts it. Yeah,
Yeah,
then
that's what I'm trying not to do. I'm trying to bid, but I have bids that were higher, and I'm like, I almost forgot about it, and I had to like withdraw them real quick. But yeah, it's annoying.
yeah, just go to
Fun.
your profile and then click the bids, and you should be able to close them.
So who's selling with 35 stocks? You're selling one at the floor? Come on.
Probably David,
Is it David? Let's see.
maybe.
Yeah.
That's all good. I mean, there's a there's no issue selling one stonk at the floor. Like let people take some profits, and it's all good.
I thought I thought
like
I don't know. I was gonna say I thought with all my buys I would do some more damage, but they listed them back. I'm gonna have to let them list
dude,
again.
no,
And do...
I'm telling you what the pain was the freaking hack, man. The hack, like, because it just makes it so tough when you like there's some really quality stonks still in that group of but when people see the banned on OpenSea banner, like they're just hesitant to do it. So then like that messes with the perception of where the floor is, right? So it just becomes like this mental barrier that's difficult to break through. So, and like I think it'll happen, right? But it's just a matter of I think that's one of the things that happened yesterday, right at the moment that like right after you did that, there was a lot of momentum. 20 freaking amazing stonks got stolen and floored, and they've got that again that little logo that you can't buy on OpenSea. Just dude, it really messes with the mind, even though I don't really see why it's as important these days because, there is so much liquidity on Blur and some of these other things that like, or, there's enough volume on there that like, I don't really see it as much of an issue.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like maybe it's just things like look like they're just slow today for whatever reason. I think BTC needs to make its move. I think we're like it's like about to do like a spirit bomb thing. It's just like gathering the energy from everything else, and it's just about to send because like ETH BTC does look like crap right now.
Oh yeah, ETH BTC looks like crap, but I mean, dude, they're just some crazy wicks right now that you're seeing left and right on the BTC chart. Like I think it's all just a matter of like shaking positions out before the next like major move higher.
Oh man, do you think? I honestly like everything happens so quickly. Like I'm having a feeling it'll be either next week or the week after that because I just don't see it. Like, I mean, I don't know if it'll just keep consolidating and like it doesn't make sense at this point.
It's got to be within the next week, man. Like looking at how drawn out this range is versus what like it's going to be within the next week. I am fully confident of that. Like either A, what we all expect where it's going to resolve higher, or B, it's going to freaking pump fake everybody and nuke back down. It's going to do one or the other in the next week. I really think like I'm betting on the first. But the range, the little mini thing that we're in right now, it's not going to last that much longer. Volatility is imminent.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
brother, I think I'm going to head out of here. Hope you guys enjoy the weekend. Much love. Many blessings.
Appreciate it. Hey, I just want to give a shout out real quick to Captain also for, securing those 2 Grail stonks that were stolen and getting them back to the original owner. That was a Chad move. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. So I'm just super glad that those weren't like, floored on Blur or something like that, because I guarantee you the wallets with bids accepting it wouldn't have had the same type of, generosity that you did, just doing the right thing there, man. So shout out. That was awesome of you. But yeah, man, I mean, that's what this community is made of. Just a bunch of people that have that same type of approach with everything. So, it is like, it's not something new. It's something that every time I see it feels amazing to watch happen, but it's definitely not something new watching anybody have that type of generosity within the community.
That's what makes this community awesome, honestly. It's really, really nice to see. Yeah, I mean, you don't even see that. Everyone's like, I mean, for every grifter you have, like, you have someone out there that's doing something good. So hopefully it evens out.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I saw a thread where actually it wasn't a thread. It was in the space that we were talking about the other day. I mean, it's like literally us versus like the North Koreans already. World War III in Web3, where there are people with freaking armies of individuals out there trying to hack and come after your stuff, creating these schemes. Just got to be careful. But yeah, thankfully there are, some good people out there that are doing the exact opposite, trying to fight it off, trying to do the right thing. So, I do think that you got a little bit of a net neutral. And I think, as much as the bad things hurt, I think like it's the good things that give enough hope that, help push through and continue to progress regardless. Crow, welcome up to the stage, man. I don't think you've had the chance to speak since you've been up here. What's going on?
Hey, I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I have a question for you. I typed it in the chat GPT, Wonky Stonks. I'm curious, in your words, where the name came from and how you came to that.
I won't lie. Hondo thought up of it, and I was like, "That's perfect." So, I think the way he thought of it was, the charts were, like stonks, and stonks was kind of the meme word for 2021 as far as a bunch of the AMC, GME, et cetera, that brought people into the trading game. And then wonky, I mean, just, because at the end of the day, like, as much as it is about the art, like, it's also about the meme of, the JPEG of a stonk and the JPEG of a chart being, more attractive and a bigger flex than owning any real stock itself. I think that's like part of the vision going into the project as well.
Yeah, that's essentially what it said. The meme from like the Reddit crowd and the AMC and all. Memes for the win. Memes are winning right now. We're on the right side.
That's it, bro. I mean, it's fine art, but it's also a meme.
It's a great combination.
And that's the funny thing too. Whenever I shared this with a friend of mine on the CTC side of things back in, September 21, when we were going through different renditions, he was like, don't really see this one. He had feedback from his person that worked for him, his intern that did a bunch of studying stuff. And the intern gave a bunch of notes. One of the notes was, it was basically just a list of like 20 reasons why this project will never succeed. And one of them was it had zero memeability. So, when I read things like that, like, it does give me a little bit more, even 16 months later, a little bit more of a fire under my, just fire under my ass, where I'm like, you want to prove those type of comments wrong. And I mean, I think that we have, but we got a long ways to go before I really want, just to be able to sit back and share something like that and say, hey, this is what they said. And like, this is what happened. This is what we saw through.
Good. You still have that list? That was my next question, if you want to show it to all of us. But whenever you're ready.
Well, I'm not going to show the screenshot quite yet. Maybe I will one day. Let me see. I might be able to read some of it if I can find it. I don't know. Maybe it's not there anymore.
Add a little fuel to the fire.
Okay. So, let's see. Dude, it's got to be in here somewhere, unless he deleted it. He He might have deleted it, man. I guess maybe you can. Oh no, here it is. He said, I got some honest feedback, so I don't know NFT game at all yet. So I put my researcher on it. This is what he said. Didn't say it came from you, so it's kind of funny reading, but also the honesty might be good. Let's see. I usually judge NFTs by a few criteria: memeability, identity, community, shareability, and relatability. That's in addition to quality of art, uniqueness, mint price, and target audience. Right now, it looks like there is no community for this. Opening a mint with no audience is like shouting into the void. If no one returns the call, it's in vain. Every successful project I've seen has sold out their mint within hours at the absolute most, but minutes for the best, and often in seconds for what have gone on to become blue chips. That's, of course, because of the community and hype built in advance. NFT success is fully a function of community, and community is materialized as a product of the factors I noted above. So if we accept that it has no community for the moment, I'd ask, one, do the creators have the capability and know-how to build a rapid, culty community? Two, is the art relatable to anyone and everyone? Rappers, moms, collectors, investors, teens on TikTok. Three, is it visually striking and singular? Would you know what it is by the name at a glance? For me, the answers are looking like 1, no, 2, no, and 3, no. I'd personally pass. This is akin to Fract, which is generative and arguably more visually striking, but down 80% plus from its highs because it just isn't memeable. Artblock stuff is all super memeable, as of course are PFP projects. Rainbow Squiggles are digital 2D pet rock for $1 million, instead instant headlines globally. Gray stock chart, So anyway, yeah, like, he went through and like that was the majority of the feedback. So it's funny looking back on it. And yeah,
That
man,
is a hilarious take. I was laughing over here whenever you were reading, especially when you were like 1, no, 2, no, 3, no. I was cracking up.
well, and I get it a little bit too, especially if he didn't share the, who was behind it, whatever else. I mean, yeah, like that was the thing about doing a stealth launch. There wasn't any of the hype in advance. But yeah, man, so I've got some other notes of things along those lines that like I still sit back and read sometimes just as a little bit more inspiration to keep the wheels churning. Because, dude, like, think about whenever punks started taking off. Whoever thought that punks were good art at the time? Like, everybody laughed their asses off at the idea of the punks. And then eventually everybody's like, man, it's the most classic look out there. Like, they're just visually striking. There are a million different derivatives of it now because it's become part of the culture of the art.
I mean,
So,
let's be honest, like the art is still pretty shite. Uh, like it's prettier because the price tag's higher. But
well, it's
if
pretty
punks
because the
were
price
a
tag's
hundred
higher, and it's
bucks,
got like a cool utility as far as it's verifying, how they verify with the pixels, kind of like a QR code type. But like, as far as the traits and the identity, so there's some cool things in the back end. But yeah, man, like honestly, if you look at it, it is kind of just shitty, like from that side of it, until you learn to appreciate it. And I think a lot of us didn't learn to appreciate it until we saw it for so long, saw people that were prominent figures that held it, and saw, a lot of people use it as their identities. And as you see that type of stuff happen, like it starts to be ingrained. Oh, this is good, right? But I think a lot of people were trained on it rather than it being the intuitive thought that they had originally. So what does everybody have going on this weekend?
I didn't sleep last night because I'm working on a commission. And now I gotta stay awake till nighttime again. So that my sleep schedule isn't messed up.
Are you writing more music?
Yeah, I'm doing a horror piece song that they're gonna make some web series over it. So I have to like make this song about, or it has to sound like someone deciding to murder someone. It's like, and then even like the headspace you have to be in to like make something like that, man. That's why I didn't sleep last night. But it's fun, dude. I have the coolest job. I mean, of anyone here. I bet. I bet.
You probably have one of the only jobs out of anyone here.
Yeah? Wait, for real? Y'all don't work?
I don't
No,
have a job.
you have a cooler job than me. I'm a fucking accountant. I'm a
Oh
consultant.
shit.
It's even worse.
Oh my God, I don't even know what that means. A
I don't know. I haven't had a
consultant.
job for a couple of years, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Man, I would not, dude. I haven't had a corporate job in a long time. There is no
I can't
way.
imagine you in a
If
corporate
it's,
setting, Tommy.
I'm the worst. I'm so bad. And I don't give a fuck because I work for myself now, so I can just say it. I'm an awful employee. You know,
90%
I
of
fucking
employees.
suck.
Well,
I don't.
okay, but then Tony,
Yeah.
let me clarify. So, like, okay, when I said like I don't have a job, I don't. I make money doing what I do, but I don't view it as a job, right? So, like, would you consider that same with you, or do you see what you do as a job?
Um, well, I do work for people, but it's more like we're working together. So it's not like I'm like I can just, but yeah, I see that as a job. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be working under someone for it to be a job, right? But
That's true. You know, like, okay, my definition on whether it's a job or not changes depending on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to my girlfriend, then like, yeah, all day, every day, this is a job. And I'll tell her, yeah, you know, like it's work. I'm sorry, got to do whatever. Like, this is work. This is what it is. Because it's the only thing that resonates with her. When I used to say that I was unemployed, she got so pissed from it that like there was this huge fight for a long period of time about me having to find a corporate job because she wanted more structure from like what I'm doing. And eventually I was like, yep,
Uh,
yeah, this is a job.
yeah,
This is
dude.
a job.
Dude, my
you know what's
relation.
so crazy? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say my relationship, my 6 year relationship's on the rocks right now because of that. Like I have it, but she's like, "Why are you doing all these other things?" And I'm like, I've been in crypto like about after a year, I guess, of like dating. Like I got into crypto, so it was like 2017, and ever since then, I don't even know how the hell we've been dating this long because she's just always mad about any. I mean, yeah, sometimes it gets a little. We know how it gets, guys. If you're in this space, you know how it is. You probably don't have the greatest relationship with your significant other. Like, let's be honest. But if you do, that's fantastic. If you could balance all these things. But true degens, it's very difficult, and other people just don't get it. So if it doesn't work, I'm gonna probably have to find someone in the space, which is almost impossible to date a female in the space. No offense, Tanya. I just feel like I don't know how that would work. Um,
Wait,
but
why did you say no offense?
I don't.
I have not flirted with anyone in Web3 and I
No,
never
no, no,
will.
no. I'm not saying. I'm saying like not. I'm not
He was
nothing against
saying
women.
No,
that
It's
he
I
just
thought that
agree
you
with
were
you.
into him.
I agree with
no.
you.
I'm just kidding.
You know what I mean? Like it's just hard to, and also it's like I don't know if dating someone in the space is like the right like solution either. If my relationship tanks, but you know what I mean?
Girlfriend
It's kind of
starts
difficult.
shitting on all the NFTs you buy and starts saying they're trash, and then inevitably outtrades you like 5 times.
Dude,
I would.
the dating atmosphere in Web3 is so I can tell you all so I have not flirted with anyone, but people have flirted with me, and every single one of them, you know what they do? They send me a DM, and within a couple of exchanges, a couple back and forths, they send me a picture of their house. I'm not fucking joking, dude. Every single
Wait,
one of them. They send me a
their
picture of
house?
yeah, with their pool and like what the fuck ever. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck are you? What is this? What am I supposed to do? Oh wow, look how much money you have. Like what? Yeah, they send and then they also and then following up to the house, they'll send a selfie with like a very like expressionless face. It's like a very awkward selfie. And I don't know what to do with that, man. So
That that is weird. I
it's
will. So
fucking weird.
the only DMs I ever got like that back in the after I had doxed back in the day, I won't like there weren't many girls on crypto Twitter, but I did have a few DMs at the time. All of them were basically just along the lines of like, "Hey, I think you're cute," like something like that. Really just the innocent, whatever, flirty intro.
Yeah, I don't think they were girls.
No, I mean, like, no, they legit were. I mean, they legit were. This is before AI.
He's like, I was on the Discord calls. They were legit girls.
No
I
deep
swear.
fakes. No deep fakes.
No
Okay.
deep
I
fakes.
promise. I promise.
Well, the
But
funny thing is, at least one of them ended up dating a CT dude, so she must have just been in the DMs of like every single guy that was semi-doxxed. Because I saw a few months later, and like no offense, I'm not trying to talk to anybody. I'm not trying to turn this into freaking Match.com, like it. But I guess good for them. Something ended up working out because of it. I just think it's ridiculous whenever people start again, using this as a dating service rather than like just, you make friends, business partners, whatever you want to call it, like, cool. But, bold strategy if you're going down the dating route in CT.
I don't even know what you guys
it's
are
just
talking
a
about.
weird setup, man. Because, like, when people, I don't want to offend anyone, but like when people ask me like, why are you in this space? Like my answer is like for money. Obviously, it's like I'm here for money. I've always been in crypto
You're
for
not here for
money.
love?
Yeah, well, like people will say like corny ass shit where they're like, I'm here to change the world. And it's like that's cool, but no, you're not. You're here for money. That's just my take. I don't want to start a fight. But so like from my point of view, it's like it's a weird place to like um talk to people for love when it's all about money. All of this is about money, you know.
Well, I mean, you can look at some people's wallets and, you just you realize that it's more about having fun staying poor. Like, yeah, okay,
That's
bad
what I
joke.
was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say back to what Bogfather was saying is like, yeah, when you're working for yourself, because like if I was in a situation where someone is cutting my paycheck, like it doesn't matter how much money I make, they're telling me how they're writing out my check. I would rather like jump off the balcony, honestly. I never want to live my life where someone is telling me how much money I'm allowed to have for my work. And when you jump away from that and you start working for yourself, especially in the beginning and probably for years, you're working so much more for so much less, especially in the beginning. So I can see how that would cause stress on a significant other, because you're,
Yeah, it's almost like a drug too. I mean, like the range of emotions you get while like degening into like random projects, winning on some, completely getting rugged on others. Like the range of feelings that you get, like the highs and the lows, like all those dopamine hits and like just emotions you feel, it's definitely addicting for some people. Like sometimes, like when I'm like turbo bored, I'll just be on Icy Tools and like spend like 0.05 ETH just to get rugged so I can like feel something for a few minutes.
yeah, but you when you like change your lifestyle and you start working for yourself, it's almost not like work, you know? Like at least for me, like when I really jumped into music, like I remember when I was working two jobs and I had to save up money for a what was it called? A Blue Yeti microphone. It's $30, but I was that poor, right? But it started with that fucking Blue Yeti and now and it was like that for years, dude, where I was working like 90 hours um a week, 90 plus hours a week and making less than minimum wage, but it was mine. It was my money that I was earning for myself. And now after years and years and years, my production costs are 3K. Like, I mean, so I'm not like, I mean, there's people who make, tens of thousands off of productions and whatever. Maybe I'll get there one day, but for me, like, that's fucking nuts. If you stick to something, uh, and you stick through that rough spot where you're working for dirt, but you're working for yourself, it's inevitable that you'll build something that you can live off of, and that's freedom, which is like you can't put a price on freedom. That's what's
You know,
so
it's also inevitable.
What?
Wonky stonks are inevitable.
Period.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an album coming out soon? And are you doing anything with like NFTs in music?
I'm releasing an EP. I was supposed to release it this month, but I had some album art problems, which I'm still having. But it's ready to go. But I was ghost producing professionally for 3 years. Uh, just like 3 years of me not getting credit and writing music for other people. So just recently I took another jump. Uh, and jumps are fucking scary, man. Because when you have any sort of stability, but I think it'll be better in the long run. I stopped making music for other people. Now I'm just making anything that I make from now on will have my name on it, at least. So that's what's happening. I recently signed to an agency, so yeah, it's good.
Yo, congrats. That's exciting. So how does
Yeah.
it feel working with an agency versus, kind of out there looking for some of those deals on your own?
Oh, sorry. I'm in a really sick deal. It's not a record label. No one owns me. I'm working with people that basically will sell my music. So like I make music, and maybe they'll give me a header of like what is selling at the moment, and then I'll make that, and then they try to sell it. And if they sell it, they get a commission. They're the ones that get a commission off of the money that I make, which is just like it's just sick. When you're sitting across from someone as opposed to being underneath someone. I can't do that whole having a boss thing. It's either we're either business partners or like I'm going to be the worst employee ever. So it feels good. This is where I'm supposed to be, I think. Because even when I was young, I was a very shitty employee, straight up. I was I was the worst. So I sucked. I just walk out of that bitch. Like really. I don't think there was a corporate job that I didn't eventually like walk out of. I'd just get up and be like, I'm done. See ya.
Pretty Chad move, to be honest.
You have a mariachi band?
Yeah, she doesn't get the inside joke. Yes, last night, Tintani, there was a guy who was like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to get a mariachi band. It was really funny.
No, I mean that was funny, and we do that because that was the funniest thing. Again, going down the list of like, doesn't matter if you think you made it. Like, there are a lot of people that thought they made it that did not end up making it the past year.
Dude, I like started
You
getting
were
paid.
in jail.
I started getting paid crypto like right when ETH was 4,000, and like I got paid ETH, and like every time I got paid, ETH would like go down. I'm like, God damn it, fuck.
Dude, I have like like how like your grandparents, if you're old enough in this space, or maybe your great grandparents, and maybe if they were alive and you knew them, they had like that depression mentality where they had to like fucking scrounge up everything. I feel like after I round tripped everything, like in 2017, I have that mentality where I'm like I need to make as much money as humanly possible because I don't know when it's gonna end. Even though realistically I know I can probably sustain, but it's like and then like holding on to it where I don't like spend money on stupid shit like nice restaurants, like experiences, whatever millennials like other millennials do too. Like we like to go on vacations, we like fucking food, but I don't go too hard on other material things. So, like maybe nice watch and a car, but like it's something within means. Um, but you know how it is. Like don't blow your shit on like dumb stuff. Like don't like see other people on Twitter that have way more money than you and get like get fooled into like trying
Bro,
to live like
comparison is the thief of joy, right? Like comparison is the thief of contentness and joy and everything else. Like if you're constantly comparing, you're going to be just always, it doesn't matter what you do, you're just going to be in this state of discontentment, and like it's not worth it.
Also, realize any funds you plan on spending any money with. We kind of touched on it last night, but like, you know, never count your money while you're still sitting at the table, right? Like that shit could disappear so quickly after you've already bought things, thinking it's gonna go up more. So yeah, don't spend money that you haven't realized.
I guess that brings me to my question I came up here for. So in a Basho, I actually hadn't really traded an NFT. Honestly, I've just been like Moon Boy and just like doing dev work and stuff, not being real active. But I've been like trading more this week. Last couple weeks of the Basho, like I honestly like sold my first NFT. So my question is like, when do you turn off Moon Boy? Like when you take profits? And like Kaleo, when are you like selling your last couple penguins? Like, are you going to 100 ETH or like?
Yeah, man, and dude, my thing is too, like I scraped together some liquidity for some of these positions, and I plan on like buying back a bunch of shit too. That's one of the things that, like, I don't know. You look at the Penguins with where they're heading. It's like,
Yeah.
you hold on to whatever you can with it. Like, I think it's one of those things where, if you need to sell something, sell it. But, if you can hold on to some of these strong assets, hold on.
Dude, I mean, what you got to do is after you fucking kill it with that long position you got on BTC, like there's still going to be that blur wall for the pudgies, so you're good. So you got to just come back hard and just just be like the hammer and just get us back to 6, and then that'll just cause like the biggest like shockwave after, because like I don't know how we're gonna get past that wall. My plan was to do some damage on it with these Ponzi things like rug me. So, and then
Did Shamdu ever dump his?
he sold like his at the bottom. I think he bought a bunch of little pudgies, but
Well,
he
no, he
bricked all
bought
of
he bought
his.
a shit ton of bigs.
Oh,
He bought a
I'm
shit
not
ton of
quite.
bigs at 5 ETH.
Okay, he actually didn't sell his. 9x9 did because he had that Ave position that he got like licked on. So, and he only sold half, which I mean, it's still 100 penguins, but we held pretty well. I really thought we were going to 4 there. And that's a combination of ETH ripping and then that happening, and we still didn't go really underneath 5 significantly. That's super bullish.
Dude, I love the little pudgies so much. I only have a big pudgy to be like in the, so I'm like, I'm
Connie, you gotta
one
help
of
me.
us.
You gotta
But
like find someone to help me. I need to sell my hot dog pudgy because I want to sweep the big floor with the proceeds. Like I'm trying to sell one of my one of ones for the rods and the little for to sweep the big floor or trade. I'll
You
even trade.
don't want to get your hot dog licensing deal?
Dude, no one's gonna eat like they're gonna think there's penguins in it's penguin meat, dog. Like you can't use that. Like this is like Oscar Mayer. They're like, wait, they put penguins? Oscar Mayer had penguins, and that's what we were eating the whole time. Like that's not gonna go over well, you know.
You're flooding your own bags here.
I am. Well, it's just the
Bro, you
funniest.
might be able to sell it to Geico. Geico does a bunch of random shit. I could see them, working in a penguin hot dog into the mix, like to replace the Geico Gecko.
Hot dog penguin actually could be like he's selling insurance. That would be hilarious. He's like, yeah, I'm just looking out for you. I'm a penguin in a hot dog costume, and I'm just looking out for you. I don't know. That could work. We'll throw it on the list.
I mean, I disagree with your FUD of your own bags. Uh, I feel like that would be sick as a hot dog logo. Peng
For what? For like
penguin
Oscar
dog.
Mayer? Penguin?
Hot pang.
It'd be funny if it was him in the hot dog costume eating a hot dog. But then people would be like, is that cannibalism?
Well, I don't know, bro. Looking back at it, like the Charmin commercials, are people really thinking the bears are wiping their ass with toilet paper? Right? Like, does that make a difference one way or the other? Like, I think people can look at the characters and, assume that it's not a penguin based meat.
Fair enough.
This
Fair
might be
enough.
some reverse psychology or something. Because
Yeah,
I feel like you're pushing me more towards getting the hot dog penguin.
I mean, do you have
How much?
100 ETH sitting in your wallet?
100 ETH?
Yeah, that's what it would be worth.
Nah.
One of the gold knights sold for 69, and a one of one is worth 100 times the floor.
Wait, how
Well,
much?
50, at least 50.
How much is 100 ETH?
160K.
160K.
What'd you buy that for? That hot dog?
10 grand. 2.5 ETH. ETH was 4K at the time. I think it's. I mean, realistically, I could probably get someone bid 70 on the tree. One of one. So I don't think 100 is out of the realm of possibility. If someone really wants something, paying like 1.5x, whatever the highest
No.
sale was.
You're gonna have to wait till we
No.
get to all-time high, probably.
Yeah.
160K. No, that doesn't sound crazy for a one of one penguin.
Yeah.
And for the hot dog? Yeah,
Exactly.
that sounds right. That sounds about right. When you said 100 ETH, I don't know why my mind just assumed that was a lot more
Yeah, you just feel like, get
than
the
it
fuck
is. Yeah.
That was their first instinct. But, I mean, there's someone out there. I don't know who, but there is someone out there that I don't think I marketed enough. I mean, because I have this, I've never changed my PFP. Thanks, Elon. But
Well, here's my theory with it all, right? With like having a grail versus the other, I see the appeal of both. We're having a grail. I mean, I think during an up market, the upside of a grail, you could probably end up getting a little bit more squeezed out of it from the right buyer, versus, that same amount of ETH invested somewhere else. And it's also one bulk clean transaction. It's just a little bit less liquid. So sometimes people are like, it's like the lottery type mentality where you can scrape out X percentage. A lot of the people, rather than getting paid out over time, they'll just get paid out, the bulk sum up top
yeah.
and take whatever the cut is. And, so I see both mindsets.
Yeah, well, the annuity thing, like, that's always if you do win the lottery, you're better off with the annuity. I mean, if you want the lump sum, because like the people, I mean, that's just the problem, because the people that win the lottery don't have money, and then when they get all that money, they just blow it. It's like statistically proven that the person, if you win the lottery, you're just going to round trip it all on dumb shit within your lifetime. Like, it actually happens. Like, that is not the exception, but that's the rule. But I mean, if I had something like that, I would just, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I would probably, I think I'd know what I'd want to do with the money, so I would take the lump sum. But I think I'd be, I'm at least a little bit more financially savvy than that. But if we're talking about the penguin, like, that's why I want to trade, because obviously, I think if I traded for 10 floor pengs right now for like a mythic rod, like, that's 100 ETH in like a month. So it's not 100 ETH right now, but the trade, and that other guy's going to have to deal with the illiquidity, but hopefully he likes it enough. But I have 3 of them, so that's why I don't even mind doing that trade.
Yeah, I gotta head out. Hopefully I can make some flips to get a Wonky Stonk here.
Yo, who is Viking Vault? They just swept like 5 stomps. I just noticed that right after, I guess, 20 minutes ago now. Take it easy, Elock. Thanks for coming up, man. So shout out to Viking Vault if you're in the audience.
Let's see.
A
Oh, we're
lot of
back to
solid
0.347. Nice.
a lot of solid stonks in there also. And then RPL.Brun. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. And if you look at what's down there right now, Bogfather, the majority of everything that's just holding that up is just like those, the stolen stonks. And those will be eaten into eventually. And the main reason why, like, there are a lot of really quality stonks in there. And I think there's some people at the end of the day, like, again, it's one of those things that's awkward to talk about, but like, and I hope that guy gets, is able to secure as many, because I think there's still some of those that are definitely better than floor pieces that are on the floor. I actually think the majority of those are better than floor pieces that are on the floor. So when you're talking about people that are acquiring, looking into something, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 100 stonks away. Yeah, like the more you buy, the more will be listed. But like that's been happening, and we've been consolidating now for the better part of a month. So whenever we do get over this, I don't think people realize, like, I don't even know where we're gonna go after, but it's gonna teleport. You know what I mean? With no all time high, like a little blue sky breakout there. Like, yeah, you could probably do if you want to be super technical and do a fib extension, and really, yeah, if you want to be if you're into memes, it's probably 0.69. But at that point, when you get within striking distance of an ETH, like, and like things are really frothy, who knows what happens? Like, really, like it's like there is no like target. Like, it's just gonna go where it's gonna go. And if it's concentrated in a lot of people's hands that are like that accumulated at this low, at that level, like they're not. Some people will take profit, but to the majority of people that are big holders, that's not like a ton of money to them. The supply is going to be very thin, and you're going to see it. Like, there's probably like 6% listed total. I think it's going to go down to like 3 to 4. And it's going to look a lot different. And I think you're going to have more people in, and like we actually just need new inflows in general with NFTs. I think that's why we haven't seen that next leg up. So, we want the coins to go up so that those inflows come over to us. Really, like that. It's how it works.
Yeah, and honestly, at the end of the day, though, Bog, like I'm content with just kind of the slow, steady grind too, right? Like it's one of those things where the longer that you consolidate, kind of like you said, the more that spring builds, and it's just one of those things where as we saw the past, like we had however many months underneath 0.1 just consolidating there, like a full year basically, and it took a couple of weeks to do a 6x, and it'll be the same type thing here where it's like, hey, even if it takes months and months longer out of this, like eventually one of those things, it's just all about the market conditions. When the market conditions are there, it's all about just positioning yourself for kind of when that flag is raised and the starting, when the gun goes off, because when the gun goes off, whoever has the best pole position, you have the best chance at kind of being able to take that lead and be able to hold it. And I really think it's the same type thing with this, where, there's only so much you can do when the market's doing whatever it's doing. But like, if you're positioned right, like good things come to those who wait.
Yeah. I mean, even like speaking personally, I know a lot of people in here have like really good cost bases, but I mean, mine was like under 1%. I think mine was like 0.06 for like my 81 stocks or something around there. So it was like below even like the mint, and or where it was on the first day. But I brought it up because I'm like, yeah, that to me, like that's like buying into momentum, and I don't normally do that, but like, I've already stated all the reasons why I'm bullish, but I'm like, yeah, this has a lot of potential to, like, the risk reward for the trade is like, it's pretty good, and it's really comfy, to be honest with you, where you're not going to get that with a lot of other NFTs. Like, if you look at it, like no one's really bricking. Like, it goes to certain levels, but no one like undercuts below a certain point, and that you don't see that with every other collection. There's no, they don't care, right? It's just purely profit taking, and they'll like undercut you until there is demand of some kind. But there have been days where we're just chilling at 0.3. People are like looking at charts. People are getting more savvy, and it's really cool to really see that happen. And that's why like I'm like, yeah, I feel comfortable like doubling down on my position at this level.
Love to hear it, man. I mean, yeah. Again, just goes back to the same mentality that we've had over the course of the past year. You know, when the market turns, it turns, and you know, like until then, we just vibe, right? Like that's the mantra is just continue the vibes, and like good things come to those who wait. So but yeah, you know, it's been a fun last month. It's been, you know, ups and downs, everything in between mixed into it, but slowly but surely, I mean, like overall things are getting pretty fun again in the space. Even, you know, with it being a lot, you know, with it being calmer than it was at the beginning of the month, the engagement and the number of people still here are still up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be so funny though, because like the space is too like I'm sure everyone's paying attention to numbers in general and like seeing how many people show up to the spaces. Like we're gonna just get like a 5 to 10x, and it's gonna get like wild. It's gonna be super fun. It'll probably last like a couple of weeks, but um, you know, we haven't even gotten close to that yet, and that's what like you know we haven't seen the God candle like because that does really make a lot of sense with the like I mean with all the bad news like I wouldn't even call it bad because the market doesn't think it's bad, so is it bad? It's like all stuff that's expected with you know Genesis, Gemini, whatever, like over the last couple of weeks. Like the market does not give a shit, you know, and it is forward looking. So um they probably, you know, if that was the case, then yeah, that we saw this coming a couple months ago, and FTX was the catalyst, and now it's like just send it, like just send this thing, like, and there's just so many people coping still, like there's so many bears, like just like, you know, I see like spaces where it's just like they're just like talking to them, like they're just like, you know, like patting each other on the back. It's gonna be okay, man. Like they're just looking at like bit like FUD articles together. Like it's kind of funny where it's just like, dude, they can't like they can't shift their bias, and
I don't even
that's
get what the
Well,
why.
narrative is
because like,
anymore for like, you
oh,
know,
sorry.
the 10 to 12K argument. Like what is the narrative right now that people are spinning up?
This happens every time there's a bull market and there's an influx of new people that are climbing into the bull market, trying to make a ton of money. They don't understand how the markets work, so they freak out. And I can't tell you how many times over the years I've heard people be like, "That's it. Bitcoin's going to zero. It's over. It's done." And they say it every single time. Every single time we see a downturn in anything, there's a whole culture of people that are like, that's it. It's over. But it's just like the new people that don't know what's going on. Like
That
this
and like
happens all
the
the fucking time.
negativity, but like the thing is, it's like yeah, it's okay to be bearish, but I think that like a lot of those guys, like it's like the negativity, like they like I don't know how you can stay that negative that long, or it's like yeah, no, like no one likes to be bearish, you know what I mean? It's but you know, it's just it's like low. I mean, like what are you hoping to happen too? It's like you make all that money, and like the world is like if you get to these levels, like what do you think everything's gonna look like at that point? You know what I mean? It's like a weird kind of like thing to like be obsessed about. Like, yeah, you're right, and everything went to shit. Like, what are you even gonna do with that money? Like, if you're talking about macro going to like whatever levels, like it's like kind of silly at that point. Like, I don't get it.
The fudding season is my favorite season. So that's when I make all the money. I keep saying this, and people don't understand. It's when everyone's like, "Oh no, everything's over." I'm vibing. I'm vibing hard because that's what I'm buying. That's and then I just sit on it, dude. It's so easy and it's so predictable each time. Every single time. It's so well, all these, I mean, I guess they're the ones making it so easy, though. I mean, we should be thanking the fudders. No? They're the
Yeah,
ones that make it so easy to buy from the bottom. When I hear everyone depressed and sad, like that's when I know. That's when I buy.
no, I agree. It's definitely a sentiment type of thing. Um, so yeah, like again, where there's the greatest fear, there's usually the greatest opportunity.
They'll get it. The longer you're in these markets, the easier it is. You see, like people get scared or they lose some money or whatever, and then they get emotional and overreact, whatever. But
It's like that meme. It's like the James
it's like
Franco meme.
fishing.
First time friend.
All right, y'all. I gotta head out of
I
here.
don't know that meme.
Yeah, I actually
Like
got
what
to
he
get
did though.
wrapping up too, unfortunately. Got some stuff with the fam tonight coming up, and I just realized what time it was. But yeah, no, it's been a solid space as always. I'm definitely going to host something tomorrow. We'll see exactly what and when, but appreciate everyone rolling out. It's been a good one. Week number 49 of these. And Zintani, welcome again to the Stonk family. Good to have you. Come back up here anytime.
Yeah, thanks for helping keeping me awake. And it's cool. I'm happy that I came in